Well, we found a winner today, and it feels good to end the week on a green note. Hey, fellow traders, Black Coffee Trader here on Friday, October the 3rd. It's a one and done day for me. On a day that I was a little bit concerned that we would have a little bit of a sloppy day because we were it looked like we're going to have more of an inside day, especially on the NASDAQ. And yes, NASDAQ trading within yesterday's range pretty much the entire day. Here at the end of the day, we're falling below that level. But because of that, I was a little bit concerned about today. Yes, traded above the range from yesterday, but fell back into the range during the day. So just on a Friday, we've had a bullish trend. I figured there'd be some profit taking going on today. It's what it looks like here at the end of the day. Yeah, I was happy to find a trade. I found a good trade on the Russell this morning, and I made a little bit of an adjustment. As you guys know, if you're following along, I've been on the struggle bus the last week or last couple of weeks have been pretty rough, and I've been in a death by thousand cuts type of thing, and really I've been in more of a situation where I would typically take this trade with like 2 micros, start adding positions and trying to scale off on the way up. Which is, in a sense, that theory can work. But I was really getting in, and I think at times adding into positions without the market being in an area where we really got a good, solid, bigger move. And when you're doing that and you're adding into positions, you really need to bring your stop up and trail that, because if you don't, you're maximizing, you're actually increasing your risk. So, and that really hurt me. And so I went back to just the way I've been trading earlier, where I had some success, and basically I increased my risk from a dollar perspective. So like the trade this morning, I believe I took with 2. Now I can't remember. Let's just dive into TradeZella. Maybe we can see it on TradeZella. So today, let's just go through the stats here real quick while we're here. Up 1,900. We show a 93% win rate because I had one account that it did not close me out of the position, and so I had to go back into that account and manually close it out, and it closed it out for a very, very small, like $2 loss, $3 loss. So I had an average win of 130, an average loss of $3 or something like that. So we have a crazy win rate today, which is kind of nice. I mean, 768% profit factor, that's nuts. But anyway, we know it was basically a one trade day. But let's dive into the trade itself. We'll just look at it here and see what we can find. So does it tell me how many contracts? Yeah, contracts traded 4. So I was in with 4 contracts. I went with 4. Like I was talking about, I decided to increase and basically risk about $100. And I'm going to trade with more contracts and just try to get a move, get out of the position, hopefully close to a 2R with 3/4 of the position. If I'm trading with 4, I'm going to take 3 off at somewhere above a 1R, and then leave 1 contract. Instead of scaling and adding into positions, I'm going to try to shift a little bit more this way, and this trade worked out extremely well. As you can see, let's just scroll down here so we can see a little bit more. Whoops. So today on this specific trade, we had a 1.63 was the 1.63R, so risk to reward. Very nice. And if you look at the actual trade itself and the setup, let's just scroll down so we can see that. Here's my little note from today. Break and retest of the 24.98 level. Struggled to hold to get to TP1. I took it off at about 1.25R. So my game plan here is to try to hold my first target to be at like 2R. So if I'm risking, I actually moved this stop up to here, and I was risking 4 points. So I wanted to hold until we get to 8 points. In profit, but I actually took it off at 5, which is a 1.25R, which is fine. It was sluggish, and I didn't want to let it get away from me, and I'm taking 3/4 of position off at that point, and then letting 1 contract run instead of kind of the other way around. But anyway, move the stop up to 1R, and then let the last contract run. Feels great to get a nice win, and it did. It felt really, really, really good. This felt like an absolute, just a winning week, even though it was a $130 trade. So very, very happy with the way we executed that today, and I think this will work better. Again, I don't like to jump around, and I have jumped around somewhat on, entries, and have had some really tight stops. I mean, this stop was tight enough, but it was the right place to have the stop. I mean, below this area, we're falling apart. And I was a little bit worried that we might, but the first contract, or the 3/4 position, was taken off at $80 some in profit. So the one thing with having bigger size and letting it run up to above 1R at least. The other thing I want to mention is at 1R, I'm moving my stop to break even. So if we get up to 1R and it comes back and takes me out, that's fine. We're going to take a break even trade. But I really want to get to 1.5 to 2R, and then we take 3/4 of the position off and leave 1. And then in this case, I was just trailing this stop and got taken out there, which was fine. So I think this will be better. I think this will be better. There were definitely several trades over the last few days where I have added into trades that would have been and could have been winning trades if I had more of a strategy like this. So I'm going to work on trying to just get in and get out, so to speak. So anyway, but yeah, that's the long and the short of today. Not a whole lot more to talk about. I mean, again, the markets, the NASDAQ, we just kind of had a bit of a zigzaggy day, and then we did have a sell-off here in the afternoon. It was one of those Fridays where, there was money to be made, but it was also a lot of whipsaw. So I was happy with my morning trade and just walking away. I would have wanted more just to try to get back on the week, but so goes. Let's look at the week and where we ended up on the accounts. So we did blow 4 of the accounts, the Tradeify accounts, yesterday. We do have 1 of those accounts left. We still have our Apex accounts. We're basically down about 400 per account. The take profit account's only down 300. Some of these are 350. So between 300 and 400 per account, which is that's a big loss for the week, but it's survivable. So it is what it is. On a positive note, I did pass an Apex account today, so on Monday we'll have another funded Apex account, which will be nice. So again, we just keep working, keep building, and hopefully we can continue to do well. I did also had a pretty good day on my take profit accounts. I have 4 of those that I'll reset, so we're at about $1,000 in profit after 2 days on my take profit. So hopefully I can pass these 4, and we'll have our full 5 funded take profit accounts. And there's the Apex account that we passed. I've got another one there that's at 1,600, I believe. So not bad. So anyway, that's pretty much a wrap for today. Oh, I wanted to look at TradeZella and look at the weekly stats and kind of see. We definitely lost this week. There's no qualms about that. So let's look at this week. And so this week, $8,000 loss, 15% win rate. Had a nice win to loss, $88 average winning trade, average losing trade was 37. And here's the other side of this. The way I had been trading the last couple of weeks here, with smaller position size, while in theory it seemed to be good, and it kind of worked good here the first couple of weeks, but I started to take a lot more trades. If you notice the last few days, I started to take a lot more trades. And so I feel like with the position size being smaller, I allowed myself, so to speak, to get into trades that probably weren't the greatest. I know they weren't. They weren't the best setups. And so increasing my risk is going to force me to take better trades, which should improve this and improve the profit factor. So this I'm fine with. I think this is in a good position. So we really need to improve this metric here. We need more wins. We don't need as many losses. So anyway. But yeah, that's a wrap for today. It's a wrap for the week. We lost the week. It's okay. We'll be back at it next week. And again, these accounts are in pretty good shape except for that one Tradeify account. But if it survives, fine. If not, no big deal. I'm focused on the rest of these. That's really where my focus is. And obviously, we are adding a new account on Monday, and hopefully we can pass these take profits next week, and then we have those as well. So anyway, that's where we're at. Once again, thanks for following along. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget the Apex sale. Don't forget the take profit deal. I mean, that sale, I guess, has been going on forever, but it is a really good deal. $102 for a 50K account, no activation fee, and you're done. So anyway, appreciate you guys using code BCT. I appreciate that very much, and thanks for following along. Hope you guys had a great day, and we'll be back at it next week. So have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you on the next one. Take care, and So long.